Social Networkers Online is proud to present Mr. Jeff Altgilbers, entrepreneur, coach, mentor, inspirational speaker, network marketing expert. Talking about a 90 days plan to execute in 2025. A comprehensive methodology that could be used even several times and at different levels during 2025 to achieve extraordinary results.
Sarah, thank you. Okay, thank you, Sarah. Great to be here this morning. I'm not a morning person, but I'm here. And so I've had my coffee. I'm ready to go. I'm excited to be here with you. And maybe at the end, we'll get you to open up your cameras and then we'll all do a picture. How about that? So we got 117. Now, the one thing I want to say is if you don't see your leaders on this call them right now saying, where are you? I don't see you on this Zoom. They need to be here because in a week or less, we're going to be in a new year. But what kind of year? What kind of year would 2025 be for you? The one thing I want to encourage you leaders to do, and that is any negative experiences you had in 2024, forget it. Forget it. Let's not stay and replay and repeat these same old stories. The one thing that bad experiences do for us, they make us stronger as leaders. And so we got to bring that strength into 2025. And so what we're going to talk about is how to have speed, in 2025, how to kick it off right. January 1st. Yeah, I'm excited about it. What happens with most people is that, I'm talking about most people in network marketing companies, they don't plan in the month of December. December was the month that I enrolled. December is a month where I found some of the best people in my team. Why is that? That's because people in the month of December are generally thinking about, I want a better year next year. I don't want replay. I don't want the same year. I'm going to show up differently and I'm going to find something. I'm going to find something different. So the thing about it is people really, and what happens, I think with most leaders in most companies is they don't wake up until January 15th because of the holidays and all of that. They don't wake up till around January 15th. And then they start thinking, what am I going to do now? How can I get my business going? And they really don't go into action until about February 1st. And they've already lost the first month of the new year. Don't let that be you. Don't lose the first month of the new year. Right now is the time to plan. This is the time to plan. And I would say to you, any of you leaders that have teams, downlines, do an inventory check on who are your leaders. Who are the leaders in your team? And if you don't have any, then you have to find them. And they're out there. And that's what I love about the month of December too, is because this is a time to start calling people that in the past we've connected with. Maybe they weren't ready or they said no or whatever. They were just hard to find. Just people that you can think of. I would reach out to those people. And anyway, this is the time to really, and then talk to your leaders. And we'll get into that more about that the 90-day run, if you have a team, is not so much about you, it's about your team. And so let's get into it and we'll begin. And so when we talk about the 90-day challenge, and I'm going to read these words because I wrote these words. Okay. So what is it? It's an intense activity that helps you and your team get speed in your business. Massive growth and ranks are achieved. Just imagine 2025 is like you going on a trip and you're in this nice jet. You only got so much runway, right? If the pilot goes slow on takeoff and that's his speed, what happens? It'll crash. It'll be in the field, right? That's right, because he's got to give it massive thrust because he's only got so much runway. Look at 2025 as your runway. And look at this opportunity as that jet. What kind of speed do you want to have in 2025? The speed of the leader determines the speed of the team. If you have speed, your team has team. Or excuse me, I said it's early. Your team will have speed. You have to have speed. If you have speed, they have speed. If you have urgency, they have urgency. And that's your thrust. And it's important because you're going to go into the new year, begin the new year with speed. Success loves speed. Let's go to the next one. And so the why do it? Why even do a 90-day run? Fast growth will quantum leap your time. What would take one person to do in a year, you can get it done in 3 months. That's right, you can achieve more. And throughout the rest of the year, you're going to achieve more. This is not a go slow business. It's not. Not if you want to be successful. And when we talk about the 90-day run here, or the 90-day plan, it's all about growth, volume, people joining your team, using our products, sponsoring people. And it's the culture you bring to the team too. That's important because that's what keeps people with you. Culture is so important. Let's go to the next slide. And then who should do it? Anyone who has a burning desire for a better future and the time circumstances to give it. So when we talk about anyone, that's right. So if you've been in For Life for years, you can do a 90-day run. If you're a brand new person, you can do a 90-day run. And again, for those of you that didn't hear me announce this, if you don't see your team leaders on this call or on this Zoom, call them right now, get them on the Zoom. But so anyone, that is, if you're new, you should do it. Now, when I say time circumstances, it does take time. In other words, when we talk about the 90-day run, it's really, we're doing more. Actually, we're doing a lot more than what we usually do. We're doing a lot more than the norm. So this is an all-out burst of energy, focus over a period of time. And in this case, we're talking about 90 days. But when we break it down to what we do every day, we have to be intentional with our time. Intentional with our time. We have to protect our time. And we want to make sure that our time is productive. That is income producing activities, which generally has to do with sponsoring people and bringing new people into your team. One thing we need to keep in mind, in this profession, we're doing two things. We're building and we're rebuilding. That's all we ever do. So like the house that I'm in, that some of you see, I'm in one of the rooms of the house. This house requires maintenance every day, every day. There's something that breaks, it's got to be repaired. Something's got to be painted. Something's got to be stained. Something's got to be screwed back in. I have one person that works for me and he takes care of this property. And I'm just saying it's non-going all the time, always. There's always projects to do. It's true with your team. And if you have a house, and I'm assuming you don't live on the street, right? You know what I'm talking about. Houses require maintenance. Your team requires maintenance. My team this month in December is 27 years old. 27 years old. It requires maintenance. So I spend more of my time in the rebuilding part. But if you're new, or if you just don't have enough leaders in your team, then obviously you're going to be in the building phase. But that's all we do. We do those two things. We're always building and rebuilding. So when we talk about the 90-day run, we're talking about you're doing more than the normal. You're putting in more time, and it's productive time, well spent. Let's go to the next slide. And so this is the time to prepare. This is the time. And we talk about preparation. So in other words, if the next 90 days, let's say January 1st, you're going to begin a 90-day run, now would be the time to talk to your family about it. So if you're a woman leader in For Life, you want to talk to your husband and your children about it. You might want to delegate some of the responsibilities that you do in the family to your children, maybe the husband too. Just get them to agree to it, okay? But that's the thing. You got to let them know you're not going to be as available. But here's the thing. I want you to sell it. It's important to sell it. If you were in the United States, I would say, tell your kids, hey, when I hit that rank, I'm going to take everybody to Disneyland. So if you're in Singapore, Malaysia, it might be Hong Kong Disneyland. I don't know if you've ever been there. I've been there twice. It's pretty cool. So sell the reward, how this benefits the family, but just let them know that at certain times, you're just not going to be available. Now, one thing I can tell you, if you think that maybe you have a job, you have family responsibilities, you say, or you're a caregiver, you might think, I really don't have time maybe to give it the time I want to do a 90-day run. Don't get discouraged by it. Not at all. Because I can tell you, when I go back to the year 1993, I was bankrupt, broke, and I found a company, a network marketing company I was going to work. I needed immediate income, so I took a day job. It was really a glorious job. No, it wasn't. It was cleaning carpet every day. I'd come home tired every day. I would have, when I got home, usually around 5 o'clock, I would just have dinner, and then I would go down the hallway, go into a room, close the door, and I would start making phone calls, prospecting calls, follow-up calls to schedule a meeting on the weekend that I could, I'd call somebody and say, hey, find a restaurant with a free room. And I would go and do a meeting. But I was consistent with it every day. My goal was, this is back in 1993. My goal was, I said to myself, when I get to $5,000, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to become a network marketing professional, meaning that's all I do. And sure enough, in 18 months, that check came in the mail. Yes, back then we did checks, not direct deposit. The check came and I looked at it. I couldn't believe it. And I said, oh, wow, this is it. I got to do this now. And I started calling leaders and saying, I'm going to come to your town. I'm going to come to your city. I'm going to do a meeting. Get prepared. I didn't even know these people. I was just going down my genealogy. And so I start setting up these dates, and I packed up my stuff. I was in a tiny little car and I took off, and I was gone for a month. I went from city to city in the United States, into Canada, went to Montreal, couldn't read the signs. Everything was French. And I'd tell the leader, give me the exit number, meet me at the exit, take me to the hotel where we're doing the meeting. But anyway, after a month, I came back, my income doubled. So that was the thing. But how I did that, again, in that 18-month period from bankruptcy to becoming a network marketing professional, was consistently putting in time every day, productive time. Then I'll I'll talk to you about an image you'll see in a minute where I actually do a 90-day run, but that would be 6 years later. So here's what we're looking to do. We're looking at a 90-day focus here where we set a goal to sponsor at least 20 people or more. We're talking about new leaders. Now, I can tell you when I did my 90-day run, not all of them were leaders. Matter of fact, I would say most of all of them were people with jobs and families. So they were all part-timers. They were part-timers in the business. So I had customers, I had some-timers, and then people that were just more than that, and then a few that were working at full-time. But I did not have network marketing professionals when I started in For Life 27 years ago. So again, the goal is 20 plus new people, grow your team, create speed for 2025. Let's go to the next slide. So your first 30 days, what are we looking at here? Your first 30 days in this business, our focus is going to be sponsoring new customers and business partners. Now, everybody, as you know, when you begin For Life, everybody starts as a customer, right? Well, that's important because they need to fall in love with the product. It's very important for them to fall in love with the product and believe in the product. What changes that, and you want to make sure it does, if possible, if they're willing to do that, is to engage in the business model. And that is, they can do that once they start sponsoring people. And that's what you want. But in your first 30 days, of course, you don't always know. Sometimes people will say that they do want to engage in our business model, but then they just remain a customer. But our goal is in the first 30 days to sponsor new customers, business partners. That's going to be our focus. So let's go to the next slide. And this is what I looked like. This was my first month in the business in For Life 27 years ago. Can you see the enthusiasm in my face? Boy, don't I look excited? Super positive, right? No, it's hard work. It is hard work. A 90-day run is not easy. It's not for people who just want to come in and make a little money. No, this is for people who want an incredible future. They want a future in their life. And so let me tell you, earlier I mentioned how I was putting a little time in consistently back in March of 1993. 6 years later, the company was sold. And it was like, what? And I'm back here again. It was sold. The new owners came in. They messed everything up. And that's when I found For Life. But the problem was my previous team scattered. They all went different directions. My main driver, my main leader, she went with one of the corporate executives off to another company. I was really broken over that. It was horrible. And so I had to start all over again from ground zero. Now, what do you see me doing? I'm going over my contact list. And I got my cheerleader beside me, my cat. But it was from that table. It was from that table that I personally recruited 27 individuals in that 90-day period. So when I said this month your goal is 20 or more, I'm being light on you now if I say 20, because I sponsored 27. And like I said, some were customers, some were some-timers, some were they never showed up for the business. And then you had your part-timers, and I had a few full-time people. But it was what happened at that table forever changed my life. That 90-day run forever changed my life. Had I not done that 90-day run, I don't know where I would be. I certainly wouldn't have been a platinum elite. I might have got into For Life and made some money, but to make the big money, no. That would have never happened had I not done that 90-day run. And I want to dwell on that for a moment, because when I think, some might think, well, yeah, that was back 27 years ago, Jeff. What about today? Well, just a few years ago, when For Life created our new rank positions in our compensation plan, you got silver, silver elite, you got, all these elite new ranks, right? And there was platinum elite, which at that time, the qualifications were more when they launched it. And I remember it was at that time I spoke with Sherry Dent about doing the run and engaging with her leaders in those new rank positions and promotions that they had at the time. But again, going after a platinum elite position, there's a big difference between that and platinum, at that time. And I can tell you, it was just a repeat. It was a repeat of what you see in that picture. Every day we're going over reports. We're doing Zoom calls, nonstop Zoom calls with different leaders, going over their rank reports, going over their enroller reports, doing strategy sessions with presidentials, with bronze elites, with golds. It was so many different people. It was an intense activity. Same thing, like in that picture. I'm saying that it doesn't matter whether you joined 27 years ago, or if you just came in today, or if you've been in For Life for years. You can do this. And why you should do this is because it gets you back in focus again. You fall back in love with your dreams. You have goals. You are helping others in your team to get focused. Help them to get over the past. Too many of you, sometimes you're playing back stories in your brain, and they're really false stories. They're disempowering beliefs. Here's the thing. Just understand that in 2025, there are people looking for direction. They're looking to improve their lives financially. And you have the answer. You have the message. You're the messenger. And all you got to do is simply bring this opportunity to them, like I did in that picture. I touched a lot of lives. And I can tell you that was a start, but I can tell you, had I not done that 90-day run, again, I would not be where I am today. And Alinea left the picture. Okay, so where did you go? Okay, too much coffee. Excuse me? Okay, too much coffee. All right, but had I not done that, I wouldn't be where I am today, because I can tell you the ripple effects of that continue today. When somebody said, well, what did you make your first month in the business? Jeff, what did you make? I don't know. That's always my answer. I don't know. I'm still making it. Think about that. What am I making? That was my first month in the business. How much money did I make my first month? My answer is always, I don't know. I'm still making it. What I mean is, from that time, if I divide out all the months and all the years I've been in For Life into all the income I've made, it keeps going up. I want you to understand that's why you should never get discouraged about your income right now. Because with the right strategy, with a 90-day run, you're going to greatly change your income. Let's go to the next slide. So for you new people, here we go. So understand, our business is nothing more and nothing less than conversation. Sometimes we tend to complicate it. We overthink it. Really, we got to get back to conversations. It's not about, just doing crazy stuff on TikTok always. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we have to talk to people. And we'll talk more about that in just a minute. Let's go to the next slide. So that's where it begins. You saw me at my table when I was making those calls. I had a contact list, or we can call it a prospect list. For you new people, you need to have that. And for those of you that have been involved in For Life for years, you need to have that. Who are some of the people that were too busy in the past when you reached out to them? They should be on that list. Don't give up on them. If some gave you some pushback, don't give up on them. I gave a lot of pushback to Dave Daughtry, who's a platinum in our company. He called me in the month of December, and I kept pushing back. And then finally, he called me on New Year's Eve, and I said, okay, tomorrow will be my go date. And that's what I did. As a matter of fact, I remember Dave went to Mark, and Mark, you probably don't know the story, but Mark McCarty was the one who introduced me to For Life, and he turned me over to Dave. And Dave went back to Mark and said, I don't think Jeff's interested. I don't think he's going to do it. And Mark said, no, follow him up. He's just angry over what happened in his last company. Just follow him up. And that's exactly what Dave did. So think about those people. What about the people you connect with in social media? You should have a list for them. Matter of fact, I had a man message me yesterday. He's a professional network marketer, and that's what he said. He said, Jeff, I want you to message me after Christmas. I want to talk to you. There's always people. Always people. You need to be looking over that list and start adding names to it. Let's go to the next slide. Again, social media, people that you connect with. Some people will say, well, I've already burned through all my contact lists. I've burned through it. I belong to the NFL club. No friends left, right? Okay. Well, how are you doing in social media? I remember last week, I was cleaning up my Facebook page, but I was going through it. I must have messaged about 50 people. I go to their page, engage in some content. I would check Messenger there on their page to see if we had any previous chat history. I would leverage on that chat history. Say something like, hey, Sarah, wow, it's been a long time. It's been years since we messaged. Oh my gosh, shame on me. How are you doing? What's new? What's happening? Yeah, that's it. Get the conversation going. Our business is nothing more and nothing less than conversation. Let's go to the next slide. So here's what I want you to do. Set this goal. And this is, for those of you that are going to do a 90-day run, I'd say do 3 times this. 3 times this. But for those of you that are not able to do a 90-day run, okay, this is easy. Reach out to 10 a day. That's over 300 a month if you do it consistently. We're talking about our first 30 days. That is in the month of January. Think about that. Now, I mentioned what I did last week when I reached out to different people in my Facebook. I mean, how long does it take to do that? Go to somebody's page, engage in some content, check the messenger, leverage on any previous chat history, or you can send them a new message if you never messaged. It doesn't take more than 2 minutes at the most. We're talking about, 20 minutes a day for and of course, when they message you back, you want that. That's going to take more time. Our business is nothing more and nothing less than conversation. So many people became introverts during the pandemic, and they had it down to just messaging. You got to get it back to conversations. Don't say that people won't talk to you. They will talk to you. People do want to talk. I remember when the VCR came out, they said, well, that'll be the end of movie theaters as we know it. They were wrong. They underestimated people's need to get together with other people and share an event, a movie in that case. When I was out at GoPro Mastery with Eric Worre a few weeks ago, I went to a concert, excuse me, the Eagles. The Eagles was doing their final tour. 20,000 people were at that event. People want to connect. People want to have conversation. So in our first 30 days of our 90-day run, that's what we want to do. We want to create as many conversations as we can. And again, it can be the, just conversations, seeing how they and their family are doing or what's happening, what's new with them. But then we pivot to see, hey, are you open to a secondary income? More money coming into you and your family? What's your 2025 looking like? Are you open to it? Any words you want to use, it doesn't matter. Just start the conversation. And it's amazing how many people are open to it. Let's go. Let's go to the next slide. So, but look at this. But if you get 9 other people instead of 300 conversations, if you got, for example, this is just an example. If you got not more than 9 in your team, that's great. But look at the difference in the numbers. 300 goes to 3,000 in just a month. What can you do in the month of January? How many conversations can you have with people about the For Life opportunity in the month of January? Let me ask you, do you think you would get some results if you had that many people in your team? That many people, in your team having those conversations. I can tell you at GoPro Mastery with Eric Worre, there was one man that did this with his team. They got intensely focused on engaging in conversations with people. That leader shared that he added over 4,000 customers and business partners to his team in 1 month, over 4,000. We cannot do attraction marketing. It doesn't work. To try to do goofy stuff on TikTok or try to get on Facebook and look interesting, hoping that people will reach out and say, hey, gee whiz, what is it you do? There was a time that worked. I'm telling you, you got to go back to the fundamentals of what we've always done in network marketing. And that is, you've got to take the initiative. You've got to do the reach out. You can't wait for people. It would be like me posting a sign out in my lawn in the front of my house saying, I'm in network marketing. Join me, knock at the door. How many people are going to pull in my driveway and just knock at the door and say, gee whiz, man, what is this? Nada, not one. But that's what too many people do in social media today. You have got to take the initiative and reach out to people. And the leaders that are doing that are having fantastic results. I know this because when I go to GoPro Mastery, I'm also in Eric Worre's mastermind group. I talk to so many 7-8-figure earners, and that's exactly what their teams are doing. When you say it can't be done, nobody's doing it, those are disempowering beliefs. Get rid of those stories and then understand people do want to connect. They do want to talk. Let's go to the next slide. And then understand this. Excuse me. Remember that no one is a waste of time when it comes to prospecting. No one is a waste of time. Some people you practice on, other people you sponsor. I get paid on no's. In the 30-day run, when I'm prospecting people, my attitude was I get paid on no's just like I do my yeses. And you might wonder, well, how is that possible? It's possible because it's all one work. It is all one work. Some people I practice on, I joke about it because I remember my brother. I remember when my team really grew and I took a printout and I took it from one wall and I started folding it out. Now that was a paper printout we did back then, but I stretched it out across the room. And I said, look at that, brother. All these people are in my downline. And he looked at me and he said, Don't you try to get me to do that. Don't even talk to me about this. And I said, oh, brother, you got it all wrong. I'm practicing on you. Then I'm going to go get me some good people. That's why I say that's what family's good for. Practice, then go get good people. But you might have, like Sherry did, and she has a lot of family members in. It worked for her. But I'm just saying, it's never a waste of time. And some of the people that say no now are going to say yes later. Don't give up on them. Let's go to the next slide. So it's really true that statistically, it's been proven that anyone who became a millionaire in network marketing, they would have sponsored between 100 to 150 people. So when we think about it, yes, it truly is going through the numbers. When people just, if you, in the past, if you've only, let's say, prospect and sponsored a few, I say keep going. You have to understand that you are looking for people just like yourself, and they're out there, and there's a lot of them out there. I'd say there's more out there now than ever. People really need income today, especially because of the inflation, and they're out there. So the goal, this is how you create massive income. All right, let's go to the next slide. So we're going to talk about month 2. Where month 1, we spend 100%, pretty much 100% of our time prospecting. We really do. That's all we do. We're looking for new people. You're looking for people. And I don't know, doesn't matter what your rank position is. If you're a platinum or you're a platinum elite, I don't care. Even Jeff Altgilbers, I do look for new people. Do I need them on my front line? No, I don't. My 3-level volume is fine. It's always been fine. Always been fine. But I stay in the mode of just prospecting people because it's what I do. It's what you should do. And then when somebody needs a good leader, then, or maybe a customer, I don't mind passing them down. I don't. But I love connecting with people. I love talking about my product transfer factor. I love talking about my opportunity with people. Everywhere I go, I do this. If you see me going to a Starbucks, I was in a Starbucks the other day, just the other day, and standing next to a woman. And we got into a conversation. Then we got into, what do you do? And she's from a different state, vacationing here. She ran a restaurant. And she said, I was losing $30,000 a month. We finally had to get out. And she was telling me what she was doing now. And then of course, it pivoted to, what do I do? And I said, well, I teach people how to have passive income. Are you open to passive income? I mean, it's where you're not trading time for money. Now, in the beginning, you are. In the beginning, you are. But eventually, what it becomes is something that you don't trade time for money, but the money continues. Are you open to that? She said, yeah, I'm open to that. I said, great. What do you use Facebook, Instagram? She says, I use Instagram. I said, great. I said, let's add one another right now because I may not see you again. And then I'll message you. How about that? She said, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I do that stuff all the time. I'm talking about when I'm out in public. So whether it's your contact list or whether it's social media, or when you are in public around people, I challenge you to do this because our business is nothing more and nothing less than conversation. So when we talk about month 2, our time sort of splits. Maybe if you're new, and maybe if you're not new, maybe you're rebuilding right now. You're rebuilding a leg, a team. Maybe it's your 3rd leg, your 3rd team. You want to qualify for silver, for example. In month 2, you're going to split your time. Maybe 60% of your time is still going to be focused on recruiting. 40%, where does that go? Support. That goes to support. That is, we need to support those new leaders that we brought into our business. So now, because we don't want to lose them, right? We don't want to lose them. We want to make sure that we onboard these leaders, onboard them. They need to understand what transfer factor is. They need to know about our product. Perhaps they need to download the app. Perhaps you need to add them to a WhatsApp group. You need to help them with their contact list, making sure that they're putting everybody they know. That includes their rich friends, their successful friends, their career friends, their friends that have businesses, because many times they rule them out. Have them do that contact list. Make sure. Those are the fundamentals. Those are the basics in onboarding people. That never changes. It never changes. Believe me, the old school is the new school. I'm seeing that more and more when people have gotten away from these things. So let's go to the next slide. And so what we want to do is, with our team, we want to create what I call a diamond factory. That's right. Especially in that second month with these new people that have come on board. But this would also apply to any leaders that you've had, even if you've had these leaders for years. Even if you've had them for years, it doesn't matter. Or people that may have ranked back, they're not even qualifying as a diamond anymore, or they never did. We want to ignite that team in 2025. And by the way, and if you have those people that have been with you for a while, you don't have to wait for February to do this. You could do this in January while you're still prospecting people for your business. But you want to create a diamond factory, and we'll see more about what I'm talking about. Let's go to the next slide. So what we want to do is we want to drive people to core, and core is diamond. Core is diamond. In other words, that's the first position where people start making money in the business. That's right, the diamond position. We have to have a culture where we are helping new people and old people that have been with you. Maybe they haven't achieved diamond, or maybe they once did. We got to get them focused in January. We got, and February as well. But kicking off the new year, we got to get them focused on helping new people achieve core. Diamond is the core position. Let's go to the next slide. It's the cornerstone of our compensation plan. That's what I love about it. Because if you accumulate enough diamonds, you can hit any rank, you can scale the compensation plan. And so as we kick the year off in January with intense recruiting, in February, we have to help these new people that have come in to make sure that we're going to help them get to diamond. And you're going to see, I like to do it their first month in the business, if possible. Because again, success loves speed. That's the jet on the runway. And you only got so much runway. And you got to get that speed going to lift off and get this business moving. Let's go to the next slide. And so when they ask the question, why go to diamond? It's the inflation fixer. In other words, we got less money now than what we had before. In other words, we go to the grocery store, we're paying more money for that same food than what we paid a few years ago. Haven't you noticed that? Everyone has noticed that. I hear this all the time. So does it fix everything? No. The diamond position is simply a position where it's the first rank where people are making money, good money, that makes a difference in their family. And so when people say, well, why go to diamond? It's the inflation fixer. That's what I always say. Go ahead, next slide. And diamonds, it can vary. It depends on the volume, but it can be anywhere from 472 over $1,000 a month. The point is, we got to get them to making money. Once, let's say we get them to $1,000 a month. Once they're at $1,000 a month as a diamond, then they believe they can make two. When they're making two, they believe they can make four. When they make 4,000, they believe they can make 8,000. But it begins at diamond. Okay, let's go to the next slide. And this is what we have to understand. Your team is your diamond factory. So in January, we had intense focus in recruiting. February, now we have a split of time where 60% of our time is still maybe recruiting, 40% is on our team. We want to crank up that diamond factory. To do what? To produce more diamonds. Let's go to the next slide. And then what powers this diamond factory? It's Fast Start. It's Fast Start. And we know the benefit. The benefit to Fast Start is you're going to pick up $40,000 in additional bonuses when you scale the compensation plan. So the goal is when you have people joining you in January and on into February, working with your leaders, helping these new people and maybe your existing leaders get to diamond, we understand that when people join, we want them to start with Fast Start. Why Fast Start? Again, I already told you, 40,000 additional bonuses, $40,000 additional bonuses. The other thing I like about Fast Start is you get a set of products. I personally believe that when we sponsor somebody, our goal is really not just sponsor that person, we want to sponsor their family. That's right. So if a woman joins your team, then our goal is we want to get the husband supporting the wife. And so we want to make sure that he's introduced to products that would help him. For example, maybe cardio, TF cardio, for example. Maybe the protein powder. Maybe he goes to the gym. He likes to work out. There's different products that would appeal to the man and vice versa, the woman as well. And also, what about our children? You heard that song by the Sly and Family Stone, It's a Family Affair. When people join you, you want a family affair. You want the whole family using the product because we want that family supporting your new leader. And there's no better way to do that is to introduce the products. But how do you do that? If they just buy a bottle of Transfer Factor, that's not going to go anywhere. That jet on the runway is going to be in the field. So that's the second reason why I like Fast Start is you're getting a broader picture, that new leader is, a broader picture of what our products are really about. And the third reason is to have some products on hand so when you talk to people, you have something with you. Those are the three reasons why Fast Start is the best start. But that's what powers your diamond factory. That's what powers your team is Fast Start. Let's go to the next slide. And so we want a culture. We want to get everybody in our team saying and doing the same thing. And what is that?
Sorry, I can't find a song with that.
Next slide. And that is getting people to diamond. But how do you create a diamond? What do we do to create that diamond? How do you get that done? Let's go to the next slide. 7 fast starts. That's it. So what do I mean by that? When a new person joins and we are onboarding that new leader, that new person, we want them, we're going to have them do the fundamentals, right? They understand the product. They know what it's about. They've downloaded the app. There might be a WhatsApp group you connect them to or another platform where they can find their tools. But after that, it's the contact list. And remember, I want them to put everybody there. Don't rule out anybody. So there's a tendency to only put the broke people we know on our contact list. No, everybody that you know, including successful people, people with businesses, people that leader is not comfortable or approaching. That's okay, because you're going to help them. But when they fill out that contact list, our goal is to help them find 7 people that will start with Fast Start. That's our goal. So you go through that contact list, let's look for it. Let's identify 7 people, 7 fast starts. And what do you have? Let's look at the next slide. Maybe that wasn't the slide I was thinking. So what you'll have is, no, it's okay. I promise everybody, that's the slide I'm looking for. Yeah, there you go. There you go. You got 2,800 points and another 200 points in customers. Boom. You got your diamond. You got your diamond. That's what we want to do. That's what we want to get good at. So that now you say, is that possible, Jeff? Is it possible? Well, I can tell you about one woman last month in November. She joined a team out of Hungary. And I spoke with her and I told her, I said, well, what you want to do is get speed. She came over from doTERRA, if you know what doTERRA is, essential oils company. Anyway, but she liked what we saw. She saw transfer factor, saw the compensation plan, and I said, just get speed. And I explained to her what to do here. Well, that's what she did in November, and it was interesting. Somebody did a screenshot. You know how Fort Life will announce the top recruiters. She was the #1 recruiter the first week of November. And that was her first month in the business. And you know what? She hit Diamond Elite. Diamond Elite. She didn't just hit Diamond. She kept running. And she hit Diamond Elite. So yes, this is what we want to do with new people when they join. And if they don't hit Diamond, then we still work with them in the second month. We help them get there. But you got to create speed with your team if you want to grow. Here's the goal I want to see for those of you in Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia. You have conventions coming up in 2025 in October. How many rank positions can you break? New people, new diamonds, new presidentials. Again, when you power up your diamond factory, your team with Fast Start, and you are breaking many diamonds, what that's going to do is organically, that's going to break all the other ranks as well. You accumulate more diamonds, you're going to see more presidentials, and we'll show that in a minute, and bronze and silvers and so forth. Imagine what your convention can look like. What kind of convention do you want? And I'm saying right now, when you kick off this new year, have convention in sight in your country. Make it spectacular. I want you to shock some people. I can remember the days in Malaysia when you'd have to wait forever just for the new diamonds to go across the stage. I can remember that. And many rank positions. I can remember that. Go back to that. This is the path. This is the path. Conversations, talking to people, sponsoring people, creating speed. And we'll talk about in a minute, meeting attendant, doing meetings. Don't tell me meetings don't work. Eric Worre will tell you you're wrong. I can tell you, when I go to the mastermind and I meet these 7-8-figure earners in other companies, that's what they're doing. Eric Worre, he goes to Mexico, 17,000 show up for an Herbalife event. He goes out to Thailand not too long ago. Over 20,000 showed up for an Herbalife event. Don't tell me meetings don't work. They do work. I'm just saying, what can your conventions look like? Because that should be your goal. In 2025, think about it. Come October, I'm going to shock a lot of people. I'm going to shock these other teams. Our team will be the team. It will be the dominant team. It's okay. Friendly competition's good. And when I say, if you want to go up, you must go down, what am I talking about? I'm talking about those new people that are joining. Those new people that are joining you. You got to work with them. We lose too many people. It's like having a leaky bucket, you know? Just imagine if the only way you got water was you had to go down the river and get your bucket, right? But let's say it had a hole in it. How big is the hole? If it's a big hole, by the time you get to the house, you aren't going to have any water left in that bucket. But if it's a tiny, 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 then you're going to have plenty of water left in that bucket. We have to help these new people coming in to go to diamond. That's the key. That's the key. And as fast as we can. Now, they may not believe they can do it, but you have to help them. That's why you got to get into that contact list and find out who they know. Who do you know? That's the most powerful question I've asked many new people. How do you think I got Sherry Den? I asked Linda Emerson, who do you know? And she said, Sherry Den. I said, who is she? That's right. You got to get good at that. But all we have to do on that list is identify 7. That's it. We've got to work with these new people. So if you want to go up, that is, if you want to scale the compensation plan, you got to get good at going down every day, every week, every month. Let's go to our next slide. And so in our second month, this is what we want to do. We want to have massive growth progression. And what do I mean that? We want to teach these people. Teach them what? Teach them about our product. It's very important that you emotionally connect these people to our product. Let them hear the stories. Share the stories. Have a source where they can go for those stories. I know in the Philippines, there's TF Academy. That's a Facebook group. But you might have other groups. But I want you to get good at documenting stories, sharing stories. That's what we are. We're really storytellers. That's right. Now, that's right. The old school is the new school. It always goes back to that. But we want to teach them how to do the business, how to create a diamond factory, and that their team will be the diamond factory, why they need to get to diamond. We want to teach them that. Teach them the basics. That's what we want to do. And then what do we want them to do? That's our second circle. We want them to teach others. We want them to teach others. As George, my friend, says, we teach, to go to the beach. So we want them to teach others. In other words, we want them to duplicate you. That's right. You know you have a system if everybody is saying the same thing and doing the same thing. If they're not, it's broken. It's broken and it won't duplicate. But these are so basic. And I don't care, everyone can have a different opinion how you want to do this business, but I'll tell you what, it comes down to basics. It does come down to old school basics. But we have to teach them to teach others. And that third circle, just start traveling. What do I mean? I mean to start doing meetings. Start doing meetings. I don't care if you're meeting with somebody in Starbucks, that's a meeting. If you have a place where you're going to get in front of a group of people, that's a meeting. But I promise you, the more people you get to start traveling, and traveling could be in town or it could be out of town, because some of you might have teams in different cities. You need to start traveling. You got to teach your people to do this. If you're the only rock star in the team, you got a problem. because you can't duplicate yourself. You've made yourself too, I don't know, too awesome that people think I could never be that awesome. It's so important that we teach our people how to teach others, and that anybody can do a presentation. You need to have a system. Do you have a PowerPoint? Is it on your smartphone? Is it on your tablet? If you're meeting with somebody like I'd met in Starbucks just the other day, as a matter of fact, the week before I was at a different city in a different state in the United States. I met somebody at Starbucks. He saw me on Facebook. He said, "Hey, I noticed you're in my town. I don't even know this man." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Hey, why don't we meet at Starbucks?" And I did a presentation. It doesn't have to be just Starbucks. I just like to drink coffee. Okay. But we've got to start traveling. You have to get back to meetings. Don't tell me it doesn't work. Tell that to Eric Worre. Tell that to all these 7-8 figure earners that go to the mastermind. I met one man in Italy, just 2 weeks ago. He's a friend of mine anyway. He has, how many has he got? Oh yeah, he's got 400 people that are 6-figure earners in his team. And he's only been in network marketing 4 years. He's a baby. 400 people earning over $100,000 a year. 400. And you know how he did it? Meetings. He taught everybody how to do a simple presentation. Again, do you have a PowerPoint on your phone? Do your leaders have it? Or are you the only one that presents? Change that. Change that in December. You have to teach others, and you got to get them traveling. That is going out to the people. You do that. You get enough people doing that, oh my gosh, your business will explode. Next slide. So let's talk about month 3. Month 1, again, intense recruiting. Month 2 was like a 60-40, 60% still recruiting with 40% support. Now our time is sort of shifting more. Why? Our goal is to have new teams, new leaders, new diamond factories that we can support and help them to grow. So now in month 3, you may still have to do more recruiting. That's okay. That's fine. Matter of fact, you may find that for the rest of 2025, you're probably going to have to do a lot of recruiting. But the point is, we've got to develop these new people. And if we get smart and we do that, we teach others and teach them how to teach, then we're going to grow. Let's go to the next slide. So month 3, and this is what we want. Once we get people to diamond, and you get enough people to diamond, you ask these new diamonds, do you want to make more? In other words, if they're making $1,000 a month or close to that, and they say, well, yeah, of course I want to make more, then let me teach you how to build a diamond factory. And that's where month 3, our focus really goes. We want them to. Now, if you got an existing team that you've had for years, you already got a diamond factory. But are you producing diamonds? Again, fast start will fuel it. And if you change the way you do things, that is, help these new people, make that contact list, identify 7 fast starts. Let's start seeing how many diamonds we can break in a month. I want to say this to you, my friends, all you leaders. If you look back in the month of November, how many new diamonds did you break? If the answer was 0, that's a dead team. I'll say that again. If the answer was 0, that's a dead team. The good news is you can resurrect it. You can bring it to life, but you can't do it the old way. That will never work. Again, you're that jet on the runway. You only got so much runway. There is no go slow. for 2025. There is no go slow. Every month we have got to have speed and thrust. You got to get that plane off the runway before you run out of runway. And that's what we want to say to these new diamonds. And you can go back to previous leaders. And again, think of those people in your team. I say, go to them, talk to them, ask them, say, hey, do you want to be more, have more? Maybe if you didn't support them like you should, beg their forgiveness. Say, you know what? Hey, Debbie, I was just thinking about you. And that's why I'm calling you. I really value you as a leader. You're a great person. And I just wanted to say that before we get into the new year, that I want you to have a great new year. Maybe I haven't been the sponsor I wanted to be. I'm sorry. I apologize. But I want to run with you. I really do. Do you have any goals, things that you want to achieve? To have 2025 to be your year, a different year. Nothing like 2024, something much better. Do you have those dreams? Listen to what that person's going to tell you. Start talking to your team now. Get them excited. Get them excited about their dreams again. I'm excited. I've got dreams. There's a lot of things I want to see happen in 2025. I want to see For Life to become the kind of company that people envy to be in. Maybe they're in a different company, say, I sure would like to be with them. That's right. I want you to start talking to your leaders now. And then what we want to do is help them to rank up, get back. Let's get our speed. Let's start sponsoring new people. Let's see how many our team can bring in the month of January. And keep it going. Let's go insane. Let's just go all out, massive action. How do you think I got the Platinum Elite? I didn't do it casual. And I think I was, let me see, I don't want to talk too much about my age. I was 66 at the time, a couple of years ago, right? And I thought, okay, you thought the old man is done? That's right, because the company was saying, oh, well, you know, this was the talk that my, a girl that works at the office at For Life told me. The talk among the executives was, we won't see a Platinum Elite for years. And then Danny Lee calls me up and says, hey, I heard you're going to go for it. And I said, yeah, I'm going to go for it. That was what I said. And I thought, okay, you guys think 66-year-old man is done? I am not done. And I promise you, at 68, I'm not done. And actually, next month, I'll be 69. Just don't tell anybody. You know, think about Warren Buffett. What's Warren Buffett's age? 94, he still goes into the office? I tell you, Elon Musk is sleeping in the factory when he's trying to get Tesla off the ground. Do you ever see a man like that retiring? There is no retirement. But do I have a life? Sure. That's the beauty of For Life. You will have a life, a beautiful life. But just understand, if you ignore this business, if you ignore your diamond factory, if you ignore your team, if you quit showing up, it's going to fall apart. It will fall apart. The law of entropy teaches that. The law of entropy teaches that things left to themselves will spiral into chaos and disintegrate. This is the reason why Amway has 6 generations of families in that company. And that company is over a half century old, but they're already 6 generations deep. And I can see that, for example, with Sadiq Din, how he's passed it on to his children. They will pass it on to their children. I've passed it on to my son, Micah. So the thing about it is, I'm just saying, even though I said I'm not retired, do I do other things that I enjoy in life? Sure. But I never, ever get out of touch with my business. I'm always involved in it every day. So New people come in, let's say they're a diamond, and that's the question. Do you want to make more? The answer is yes. Build a diamond factory. What's the next slide? So look at this. What does it take to build a presidential? You say 10,000 points, 2 diamond legs? Yeah, but really, you want to help these new diamonds do what? Now that you have a new diamond, help that new diamond create diamonds, the people they brought in. We want them to be diamonds. Yes, we want to get into their contact list. Help them, help them. 3 to 4 diamonds, and there you are. And diamonds can earn anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 a month. Now, think about it. You have a diamond that is making close to $1,000 or is making $1,000 or more a month. And now they want to certainly earn more than that. You get them to presidential. You think they're quitting you? They're not quitting you. They are not quitting you. They're in the game. The idea here is you got to power up that factory and you got to keep the growth going. Don't let your people get bored. There might be certain promotions or, just calls to action. Get creative that you can do. But you want to keep the growth going in 2025. But we're talking about the 3rd month of the business. We're talking about March in this case, January, February, March, that now we're really cranking this baby up. We're cranking it up. Let's go to the next slide. You want to be a bronze? Go to your team, go to your diamond factory, create 7 diamonds, and you're there. You're there. Bronze can make as much as $4,000 a month or more. I know some bronzes that make $25,000 a month, by the way. Seriously. But I'm just saying, as much as we say, I'm giving you a very low figure. But I personally know people have bronze positions that earn that kind of money. Some, I know some that earn $15,000, $16,000 a month. So, but the thing is, it's all based on volume, sure, in your team. That's correct. But this is it. I just want you to look at the number 7. 7. 7. Go to your diamond factory. That's what you do. Support them. Work hard. Now, don't tell them what to do. Don't be a boss. This is you leading by example. This is you leading by example. That's what the 90-day run is about. You're working with your team. You're helping your team. Answering questions, doing presentations, doing some legwork, doing meetings. Let's go to the next slide. A silver. Woo! Somebody look at silver, 100,000 points. Woo! Boy, it's a lot, right? It's funny, I was in South Korea and Seoul, Korea in October, and I did this presentation, and the Koreans just laughed when I said, whoo, 100,000 points. Is it 100,000, or can we just look at it a different way? It's only 35 diamonds. It's a walk in the park. It's a walk in the park. Perspective, attitude is everything, my friend. When you see it that way, when you look at your team, your diamond factor, say, man, 35 diamonds, that's it, baby. I'm going for it. I am going for it. Is it worth it? Well, they make $10,000 a month or more. I'd say a lot more. I'd say a lot more. I'm giving you a low figure. I'm being honest with you. But again, this is what's so exciting about the 90-day run, is that you're creating momentum. Momentum. And momentum is created by monotony. That is doing the same old school basics every day. Prospecting. Our business is nothing more, nothing less than conversation. Talking to people, prospecting people, and then helping people understand you got to get the diamond. That is the first rank position where you're making money. I want to help you do it. You get them making money, they'll stay with you. Let's go to the next position, or next slide, I mean. And then, of course, we think about gold. Gold, 250,000 points. Woo! Seems like a lot, right? Seems like a lot. Or it's 83 diamonds. Yeah. You go to your factory, say, okay, we need 83 diamonds. You're working with your factory. You're working with your leaders. And look at the money, 30,000, 100,000. Do you know I have a gold in my team that makes over $1 million a year? Makes over $1 million a year. That's right. So again, I'm giving you some lower figures, but I'm showing you what's possible. And when we get focused on creating diamonds, that's the key. The culture, the training. What we do with new people is they come in and we understand it's all about creating diamonds and get, we don't have to focus so much on the 250,000 here. It's so much easier. It's so much easier. Let's go to the next slide. And of course, platinum, 1 million points. Woo! Seems like a lot. Oh my gosh. That's like going to the moon. No, it's only 332. It's only 332. That's right. Because what we have to do in this third month is have many diamond factories, diamond factories in your team. You got so many different people. They all have their own teams, right? You want as many diamond factories in your organization as you can. And that's how you get the platinum. That's how you create 332 diamonds. It's because everybody does the same thing. They say the same thing. That is your system. And we teach people when they come in, fast start is how you join. How do you, and then the second step, how do we get you to diamond? Why you need to get to diamond? Because that's the first rank where you're making money. And again, we're going to do that through your contact list and identify 7 fast starts to get you there. We create a culture like that. You can go to platinum very quickly. I say very quickly. Not too long ago, just a few months ago, we had a platinum elite out of Puerto Rico. Out of Puerto Rico. He moved pretty fast. People are doing it. Look at Russia. Russia is in a state of war with Ukraine. And we had a new platinum out of Russia. What is our excuse? The only thing that's going to hold you back or hold me back would be our thinking. And the only thing that's going to make this work is our thinking, is our attitude. And I know you can do it. Let's go to our next slide. And then look at some of the benefits. We have this 10-day Mediterranean cruise coming up. Your people need to see you at these cruises or at these reward trips that 4Life is doing. Talk to your team about that. Talk to your team about that. Some of the reward trips that you have in Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, or if you're in India or wherever you are, whatever country you are from, you need to be talking to people about the reward trips. But your people need to see you there. I'm going to be on that ship. Well, God willing, but I'm qualified for it. Let's put it that way. Your people need to see you there because that inspires them. That inspires them. And if we do what I talked about in this training, in this 90-day run, they're going to see you there. They're going to see you at these. And again, some of these are listed. Let's go to the next slide. Again, you know your own trips. Every country is different, but that one is especially for golds, platinums, platinum elites. So when we get to the month at the end of March, what do we need to do? We need to celebrate. Again, today or tomorrow, because I know it's nighttime in Asia, you need to talk to your leaders. You don't want to do the 90-day run alone. You need to talk to your leaders about why they need to do this 90-day run. Talk to them about their goals, their dreams, and apologize if you haven't supported them enough. Tell them how much you believe in them. That 2025 can be different. Let's run, let's do it. And then at the end of 90 days, and I say during the month, have a lot of activity in your chat going on, in your WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger, whatever you use. Share what's going on. Everybody should share. Got a new customer, celebrate that person. Somebody just sponsored somebody, celebrate that person. Let's say somebody that's sponsored with the Fast Start, right? Or somebody that just, let's say they enrolled 3 people with Fast Start in their first month of the business. Celebrate it. Find things to celebrate, but create a lot of noise. Create a lot of noise because that excites your leaders. Some are going to kick their butt. They're going to say, you know what? Look at them. I'm thinking it can't be done. Look at all these people doing it. But at the end of 90 days, have a celebration. You can physically get together. I think that's more powerful. And you can also do it on Zoom, or you could do both, a hybrid, right? And lastly, I know we've been on this call for a while, and let's go to the next slide. And this is the final slide. Why a 90-day run should never end. And here's what I mean by that. What I mean by that is when you get to, let's just say that when you're in the month of February, keep in mind, new people that join your team. You got these new people coming in and you're telling them that they need to join with Fast Start. They need to go to Diamond, if possible, their first month in the business, if they can. Those people, when you're in your second month, you got new people joining, they're in their first month. When you're completing the end of your 90 days, you got some people in their first month, some people in their second month. In other words, this is a continuous cycle in 2025. This is a continuous cycle in 2025. You want this ongoing. A 90-day run isn't something we just begin January 1st. It can only be done January 1st. It could be done anytime. Like when I went to Platinum Elite, I think that was in the month of June. In the month of June. And really, to be honest with you, that was more of a 60-day run, what we did at that time. That's fine too. But this is part of our training. When new people come in, ask them, how do you want to do the business? You know, when they share their goals with you, their dreams with you, and that's what I always say to a new person. Hey, I'm glad you joined For Life. I really am, but if I can ask you, why did you join? What do they say? Pay attention to what they tell you. When they tell you that, hey, I'm struggling. My life is not easy. It's hard on the family. We need money. I'm worried about my children's future. What school they'll be in, whether I can put them in a university, or if our family's going to have enough, or we could even make it to the end of the month. Listen to what they say. And that's when you sell the 90-day run to them. That's right. Say, well, it sounds like to me you want to go fast, not slow. Am I understanding you right? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Okay, we have something for that. It's called a 90-day run. And by the way, Ridwan, we're going to put together something that in readable form. Eric Worre published something, but we can, I guess, make some changes to it, update it, and look for that to be coming. But this is what you need to do with new people. Explain this very thing that I talked to you about today or this evening. First month, intense recruiting. Second month, intense recruiting and supporting. Third month, still doing some recruiting, but a lot of supporting. We're teaching them how to become leaders. And again, like I said on that one slide, we teach them to teach others, to be travelers. that is to do meetings. Go out and meet the people, just like I said in Starbucks. Anytime I'm around people, I look for opportunities to share the For Life opportunity with them. That's always my goal. So I hope you got some value out of this. I'm excited about your future, but again, I want to go back to your conventions coming up. We build our business around events. I want you to focus on that. Whatever country you're in, again, Singapore, Malaysia, in Indonesia, your conventions are in October. I want you to do something massive starting in January. You prepare now in December, but in January, you begin that 90-day run, you do something massive, you keep it going in April, in May, in June, July, all the way to convention. I want people in the audience going, oh my God, I can't believe how many diamonds are going across the stage. It's shocking. How do they become so strong? Look at those presidentials. How many bronze? Wow, that many silvers? That's what 2025 needs to look like for your team. Get it in your hearts, get it in your souls, get it burning. You can do it. And it was a pleasure to be here. Again, I hope you got value from this. And I'm going to turn it back to Sarah.
Wow, thank you so much, Platinum Elite Jeff Altgilbers, for all the wonderful strategies, tips, and techniques. I can't wait to get started with the team. So why not we regroup, we call all our leaders and start to plan for January 2025. How are you guys feeling right now? Oh, let's get loud, let's get loud. Okay, so I'm excited to begin the year with such extensive planning. So let's do it. Let's do it, guys, and let's go big. Thank you so much, Platinum Elite Jeff Altgilbers, for tonight. So why don't we take one group photo? Maybe we can on our video, our camera, and let's take a group photo before we end the Zoom tonight.
Okay, so there are 8 screens, so I'm just gonna take a screenshot of one of every screen. So let's just wait a few moments for everyone to switch on their camera. Good to see you. Okay. All right, so
Yes, so lovely to
first
see
page,
so
ready?
many.
Look at the camera. 1, 2, 3, and smile. Okay, page number 2. 1, 2, 3, smile. All right, you don't know where you're on which page, so just smile for the 8 pages, yeah. Okay, page number 3 is all photos. Never mind, I'll just take a screenshot. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, back to you, Sarah.
Okay, so I guess we can close the night and wrap it up. Let's read our notes and contact our leaders and tell them your goals. So we all start with that alignment for 2025. All right, thank you and good night and good morning also to other half of you. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, good night.
Bye.
Good night and good morning.
Thank you, Jeff. Bye-bye.
so much. Jeff. Thank you, everybody.
Jeff, thank you, Jeff.
Bye.
Bye, Jeff.
Yes.
Bye. Bye.
For 2025.
Bye. Bye. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ya, makasih, makasih.
Terima kasih.
Yes, thank you.
Social networkers online. Your business will start growing at an increased pace in 2025. Remember, you are not alone, we are doing business together. Feel free to contact us at any moment. This year, you will achieve all the goals and all the dreams set by yourself. We are here to help you achieve them.